second. Alright, everybody, welcome to the Swiss Army Nerd Podcast. This is, I gotta tell you this part. I should have said this before. We got a new name. I hope you like it. We are the Stickrod and Cockerham Productions.
Oh, wow.
People like our last names better.
Well,
so,
yeah,
I am John Stickrod, and this is...
Stephen Cockerham.
Yes, and we changed our name. We are Productions now with our last names because our last names are better than our first.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a ton of sticky
we were meant to be together at some point on some kind of show with
You
these
don't
last
just
names.
have Stickrod and Cockerham. Yeah, it's just too perfect. It's just meant to be. It really is. But yeah, that's actually Josh from work gave me that idea, and I was like,
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Josh.
I told Garrett we gave him a shout out last week. He was super excited. He's like, I gotta go on and watch it because
maybe he should actually be one of our 3 listeners. That'd be cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Switch it up, get us up to maybe 5 someday. But yeah, we are here. We're in the middle of the NBA Finals. So
do we not want to do a shout out
for?
Hey.
Oh my God! We have our brand new gear. As you can see, let me just move the mic a bit. But we got a new gear. Tommy's rocking one. It's our logo. We finally got it on some shirts. Some badass production here. Hopefully we're gonna do some hats soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we'll actually we talked about it. All we need is, what is it? How much is it per shirt, give or take?
It's he's just asking $10.
$10. Okay, so we'll probably make it like $10-15 if you want a shirt.
Contact John or Steve.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll make it happen. But we're gonna try some hats and stuff soon. But yeah, we actually have merch. Super excited. I think it looks awesome.
Came out really well.
It did.
Shout out to Will Shira.
Yes,
buddy.
Thank you, and also Christopher Scott for actually making the logo. And I love it. He's actually working on another one. Another kind of a logo 2.0 that we're going to get to see
That'll be cool.
soon. Yeah, he's got some new software, so that's going to be exciting. So yeah, we have our merch now. We're NBA Finals. We finally made it. It's been, how many weeks? 6-week journey?
It's been a while.
Well, other than the whole season. But,
yeah.
So I guess we should start off. Well, I'm going to start off by apologizing for doubting LeBron because I was completely wrong. Almost, and you could watch it back. Every time we had a show, I counted out LeBron, even though I'm one of his biggest fans. And he made it to the finals.
Again.
He took that piece of shit team to the finals.
Real quick. I saw something on Facebook. Said the last time LeBron James was not in an NBA Finals, Justin Bieber's first song hit the radio, Instagram, or wasn't even released yet.
That's right.
And I forget the other 2. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy to think about. Like, it's 8 years now, I think, running.
It's 8 straight.
So since 2010, I think. It's happened to be 2010.
2010.
So that's 8 years with LeBron. If that doesn't get you enough hate, because if one thing that fans hate is repetitiveness. It's just that why do so many people hate the Patriots? Because they keep going to the Super Bowl. Well, LeBron's been there 8 straight times, and I think this time he should not have made it. I wish he hadn't have made it. Because he's going to be fed to the Golden State Warriors, who went 7 games against Houston, and in Houston hardened fashion, he failed horribly.
He gave up.
He did, man. He did. And there were a lot of calls in that Game 7 game that were questionable. I just read a Reddit report came out, and there were something like 15 calls that were completely wrong. They were just wrong. Some were for the Warriors, some were for Houston. I don't think it changed the game because this stat is the only stat that matters. Houston missed 27 straight threes. The fact that they weren't even blown up by 60 is a blessing.
The funny thing is, I read it wrong. I thought they just missed 27 the entire game. And I was like, oh no, they missed 27 straight. That means they were panicking at that point.
Oh my God. I mean, after the first 10, I think you start hitting the panic button. What's funny is they started reverting back into feeding the paint, old school, back in 2000s. And it was working. They were chipping away at it. But then, and the Warriors proved why they changed the game, they would get good 8 points. Houston would get 8-10 points in the paint, get that lead close, and then all of a sudden Steph hits these crazy-ass threes from the corner, and then they're up again by 8. And it's like, oh, that's why you can't beat the fucking Warriors. Yep. So I love that series. I got what I wanted, 2 Game 7s. I don't think that's happened in years.
Haven't happened in a while.
Long time. So I got what I wanted, 2 Game 7s. I think it's pretty obvious that the Houston and Warriors, that might as well have been for the chip. Although I have learned my lesson. I am not counting out LeBron. He will at least steal a game, maybe 2. At best. I mean, I'm hoping because Celtics went up 2-0.
It's not gonna be a Game 7.
No, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, LeBron would have to play 60 points every game.
And you have to play the entire game.
48 minutes for 7 games.
Not to mention he carried them through the Celtics
Yeah.
series.
So he's
gotta
burnt
be
out.
fucking beat.
Well, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
It shows up
He's
right after.
sitting on the floor with his T-shirt
Yes. And he's got giant ice bags on his knees, on his ribs, on everything. Dude gave everything he had. And it's just such a bummer that he got there and he did it, and it's such a feat. And it is. And if people don't think it's a feat, they're crazy. Yes, the East is weak, but it's not as weak when you're one man dragging along 4 other barely starters and beating a team like the Celtics, who were young and hungry and very well coached.
on. He might as well have been playing basketball with us.
Seriously, not honestly. I think he really could have taken at least us to round 2. But I counted him out every time. I actually bet against LeBron. I bet for LeBron, but in my heart, I picked Celtics in that Game 7 because they won 10 consecutive home games in the playoffs. That, for me, was a more crazy stat, and I was like, okay, that means they have something special in that arena. I was wrong. LeBron just did LeBron.
You got to know LeBron going into this. He's got to stay positive for his team, but deep down he knows he's about to get fed.
Yeah, I mean,
if you hear his interviews though, you got to give it to him. He never says anything negative about his teammates. He actually talks them up very well.
Yeah, like way more than they deserve.
Yeah.
And like that, that's the difference between like if you wanna butcher LeBron for any number of things, sure, but you could never say he's a bad leader. He used to be not the greatest when he was younger, but he's a young superstar. That happens. Mm-hmm. But Harden is in his 30s, I believe, and he's a horrible goddamn leader. And it showed in that Houston game because when Golden State, in the first half, they looked horrible. They were getting their asses kicked. And Houston was going off. Harden's happy, getting all the fouls he wants. They got blessed because Clay got 3 fouls in like 58 seconds, which would never happen again. Houston's doing great, and then as soon as Houston starts missing those shots, Harden gets selfish, throws the balls up, and then when people don't make their other threes, like Trevor Ariza didn't make any, he went 0 for 12. Somehow that's his fault. Okay, how?
Harden went home and was talking to his wife or whatever girlfriend. I don't follow him. And it was just he was shooting shade at his team.
Oh, absolutely. And he did. I thought it was really. There was an article I was reading today about how he didn't shake anyone's hands. He just walked off the floor, and I always hate that because you know damn well Durant and them would have stayed on that floor and did it because they've lost. They lost to the Cavs when they blew a 3-1 lead, the first time that ever happened, and they were able to shake their hands. So, what are you crying about? You know, the Rockets, they didn't have CP3. I think if they had CP3, it would have been different.
It would have been closer.
There's a give or take at least 20 points you left on the bench with CP3 out. Not to mention, he's a leader. Like, when they got down, CP3 goes up there and he hits threes, he hits twos, he makes sick passes. That gets the team going. Harden doesn't do that. Harden's way of leading is give me the ball, watch me dribble, and I hope I make it. That's not how you lead.
No.
And yeah, LeBron had, I think it was, 35 points and it's like 10 assists, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds, something like that. And yeah, he didn't score 60, but he got his team involved, and he didn't have to score 60. That's the difference. So I just don't think they'll be able to do that against the Warriors' defense because the Warriors' defense stopped the highest offensive team in the league in Houston. So what are they going to do against the Cavs, who were 4th in the East? Yeah. I just think it's going to be really, really hard for LeBron and the Cavs, I guess if you want to say that, to come up with a game plan. I literally can't even write how it would be possible. I don't think any analyst in their right mind would pick the Cavs ever. I think they're the biggest points differential in Vegas that's ever been done.
Yeah.
Like, which is sad.
I give it 5 games.
Yeah, I think I want to say 6 just because I'm selfish and want 6 games.
You want 7 games.
I want
You're not gonna
7,
get 7.
but I will say this, though. If it goes to Game 7, I would give LeBron the advantage because LeBron would be going to the Warriors, and it wasn't even supposed to make it to Game 7. I think that LeBron would just play lights out. And then Durant would have to play up to LeBron, and I don't know if he has that. I mean, Durant's second best player in the league, no doubt, but he's no LeBron.
Yeah.
And LeBron, listen, you can say whatever you want now, but you can't say he isn't clutch now. The dude came through 3 playoffs that he should have been bounced probably in the first by the Pacers, and he
Definitely should have been bounced in the second by the Raptors if they didn't lay a giant hard egg.
I don't know. I'm done saying that. Look, like LeBron used to be mentally weak. Like in Miami, in that Mavericks series, there's no denying that he choked. He couldn't handle the big lights. It was horrible, and that's why they lost. That LeBron is gone, way gone. He doesn't get scared of these moments anymore, and I think the Warriors still kind of do. Yeah, they rose to the occasion, but it's Houston. That's their first time going to the East or the Western Conference playoffs. They're down CP3, and Harden is soft as baby shit. I gave the advantage to Golden State because Draymond's not going to be scared of anything.
No, he's not scared of anything.
But it does make me worry for the Golden State Warriors that you're going to have Durant match up against LeBron.
Yeah, but Durant's one of the best against him, though.
He is, but at the same time, that means Steph's going to have to stop. Well, they'll probably put Clay on Kevin Love, but still, they're going to have to. Someone else is going to have to step up too, because even though Kevin Love's a schlub, if he gets back from that concussion protocol, that's a lot of points he can score against a smaller Steph. And even if they put Clay's the best defender, but there are ways Cavs can score points, but to go right, and I just don't see it happening.
Nope.
I think 5 is smart. I'm going to go 6 just because I'm selfish.
Anyone going crazy sweep?
No.
I was last night. Last night I was saying sweep.
No.
And then I slept on it, and I was like, when the Cavs go home for that Game 3, I think that's the one they win.
Yeah, they're going to win at
I think
home.
LeBron's going to let it be a sweep.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to go to 6.
6 is a good. I want 6, and if it goes to 6 too, that puts the pressure on the Warriors. So we'll see. I guess moving on to that, let's just say LeBron loses. Do you think he gets a pass, or is this gonna be he should have somehow pulled this out? Because
No.
I mean, it's gonna be both. Like you're gonna have people saying he gets a pass because he carried a bum team all the way to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna have people the credit. Like let's face it, I love the guy. When the Cavs lose, Stephen A is gonna come out and say you can't get anything against him. He carried a worthless team all the way to the finals. Then you're gonna have other people going out and saying he doesn't have it anymore. Da 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 da. He needs to leave Cleveland. Da 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 da. There's gonna be bits and pieces. I hate the guy, but I can't argue the fact that he took a C team at best all the way to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna throw shade on him like I normally do because what he did this year in the playoffs is pretty freaking amazing. So I will give my LeBron bashing a break for a little bit because I'll give it to him. I've never seen a player carry a team like he did in the playoffs this year.
I like the fact that he doesn't have Quentin.
No, he's never had quitting him.
No, he really doesn't. I mean, it's so for me as a LeBron fan, I've been watching. Probably, I would say watching him since like 06. Like he was in the league at 03, but 06 was around the time because that's when D-Wade won his chip and stuff like that. But anyway, I've been watching him grow it's so insane to watch someone transform into that leader because I remember I watched First Take forever and it was always Skip saying like, "Oh, he's
love you, Skip."
Fuck Skip.
Oh, Skip.
He's like, "Oh, he's such a worthless. He's a bad leader. He's a bad leader. He's not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a leader. Da 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 da." And all of that was true, even though it was coming from Skip. It was true. Well, I don't watch it anymore because he switched, but I'm sure Skip is still talking shit. But it has to be refined now because you cannot deny what he's doing and how he's doing it, and with the grace he's doing it. Like he could go up there and say, "Well, that's why I'm LeBron," but he doesn't. He says, "My team stepped up. We did it." He almost takes none of the credit. When I think that's crazy. I think that's really cool to see. But it does suck for me. At the end of the day, there's going to be another L in that column, and that hurts his legacy. There's no doubt about it. 8 times in a row is amazing, but it's still going to be...
He's only won, what, 4?
3.
3, yeah, 3 out of the 8.
3, and of course, other than that one time with Kyrie, which was amazing, and people seem to forget that it was up 3-1 because Curry was injured, but they still could have won that. But anyway, he stopped the 73-9 Warriors and beat them down 3-1. And people seem to gloss over that all the time because Kyrie made that last shot. I still think that was an amazing thing. And I hope when it's all said and done, if he loses this, which most likely he will, it's not like, oh yeah, he lost this many finals. It should be context, like he lost this many finals, but it was against probably one of the greatest dynasties we've ever seen. Realistically, the Warriors changed everything about the NBA, and they're still doing it, and there's no sign of them breaking apart. So I hope that at least when it's all said and done, it's not just LeBron lost in the finals a lot, which a lot of marks are going to say that because they're dumb. But I hope that's not the case like with analysts, because Stephen A. does that now. Well, he still has this many losses. Okay, well, in 07 that shouldn't count because he had as shitty of a team, and he was also 24.
He was young.
I don't even think he was 24. Imagine being 24, being the leader of your franchise, going against not a bum-ass team, against Popovich and the San Antonio
And your
Spurs.
second best player was Varejao.
Exactly. But you don't get to hear that, so I'm curious to see how this goes. I love the idea that if somehow they pulled this off, it does so much to his legacy. There's no doubt if he wins it somehow, his legacy tenfold gets better. But if he loses, I'm hoping it doesn't do as much damage. But
We'll see. It's gonna be you're gonna get a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, who doesn't love? This is the first time, and some people are like roll their eyes at it. I kind of love it because somehow if LeBron wins this, then it's 2-2. That's pretty cool, man. I like rivalries, so that's exciting. It's kind of like a little bit of Boston versus Lakers type thing, so I like it. I'm excited to see what happens.
I always love the NBA playoffs and the finals. Like I love watching it. I even got my dad. My dad was not into sports, but when the playoffs hit, my dad was right there rooting with the Lakers for me because he didn't follow basketball, but he knew I liked the Lakers. He would literally sit and watch basketball with me and root for the Lakers. And I remember exactly where I was. I was in Maryland at my aunt's house the year the Lakers played the Pistons, and everyone had Lakers are gonna sweep, and the Pistons just came out and punched the fuck out of the Lakers, like just boom. And my dad was getting angry. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Don't take that shot, Pat." And I was like, when did you learn basketball? So it's something about basketball playoffs and basketball. You don't have to be a fan to actually want to watch
It's easy
it.
to follow.
Yeah, it's simple.
My brother's the biggest country bumpkin in the world, and I was watching the game with him, and he got it.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's
Shout out, Mark.
I do think like anyone can. Well, certain people hate it. Like Freddie hates it.
Yeah,
he's a hockey guy.
He's a hockey dude.
And I growing up, a lot of people in my high school hated it because like the fouls. It's hard to understand. Like, oh, how's that a foul? Like, be a man, da 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 da. But it's all strategy. I think once you understand that,
yeah,
it's different. But styles make matchups. I mean, I don't know. I'm done counting out LeBron. I have had so much egg on my face in these archives. I'm done. I'm gonna pick Warriors, but knowing my luck, then somehow the Cavs will come out with it. So I've not been a good NBA analyst this playoff at all.
That's okay.
At all. Like literally, I was going back to the archives. I think I'm like 1-7 or something. Like, did not do good. So, but
Okay.
I'm excited. And then we get to see. Do you want to talk a little bit of free agency? Because we're almost to that point. The only two teams we're not gonna.
Well, can we do what I've been waiting for, and then we'll talk about free agency?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you want to move on to the arguments?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna sit back and listen.
All right, we can do that. We can.
So, for those of you that don't know, our producer Aaron is a huge Michael Jordan fan, which is smart because he's the best player in the world, or is the number one basketball player ever, like
at
number
one
one.
point.
So, no, till this day. But anyways, huge fan. And we got a LeBron fan over here, number 2 player in the world. So we're just going to let them just go at it. So I hope you all have your popcorn, because I've already seen Aaron. She's got like a book worth of paperwork.
Shocker. Aaron's
So-
prepared.
Just be prepared for John to turn red, get angry at some point.
That's
And
funny.
then...
Voices will be raised.
Yes, so if you're standing close to your speaker or whatever,
Wearing headphones.
yeah, sit back or turn the volume down,
down a little
because
bit.
it's about to get a little hot in here.
It's about to
And
get
me and
real.
Tom are just gonna sit and just enjoy. So who gets the first? Who gets
I'll
the
let
first
you go
go?
I
first.
think the guest gets the first.
No, I'll
first
let him go first. It's his
Let,
baby.
let the host make the first dig.
No, all right. I'm gonna. The way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna crescendo with my final argument. So I'm gonna start simple. Okay, so simple enough for people to follow. Now, obviously, but first things first. What is the debate? Because last week we debated who would be which in which era. And that argument is great, but it's pointless. I am going to argue who is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, and that's your stance, and mine is LeBron. So that's the argument. To be
Okay.
clear, the greatest basketball player. Okay, so we talked about this all the time. It's like our go-to argument. Now, in my opinion, I didn't grow up watching MJ. I only got to see Fat MJ in 2002
Wizards.
with the Wizards, which barely counts because I'm pretty sure he had a stroke. It doesn't matter. I didn't get to see good MJ. I didn't get to see the 6 rings. I didn't get to see the Pistons beat the piss out of him. I didn't get to see him retire in mid-scandal. I didn't get to see any of that. What I did get to see is LeBron James coming to the league at 2003 at 18 years old after winning a championship in high school with a bunch of swabs who didn't even make the NBA, with so much hype that almost nobody on the planet could have delivered, except LeBron James. And he delivered all the way from 03, which is, how long is that, Steve?
What?
15 years
Okay.
ago, and he has been the best player since 05. So I honestly, I could argue 04 and 03, but I'm not going to do that. So that's, what is that, 12 years? 13 years. We'll say 12 years of absolute dominance, where he should have won the MVP every single year. And he did not, because the NBA likes to make Derrick Rose look useful, or Steve Nash look special, or Kobe look like percentages don't matter. Either way, for the last
Really?
for the last 15 years, he's been the greatest basketball player in the league. MJ never did that. MJ was he was the best scorer for 10 years. That's why he got all the scoring titles, right? You know how you get scoring titles? You shoot the ball more than anyone else on your team. Do you know who is really good at feeding him the ball? Scottie Pippen.
Oh, the same Scottie Pippen that he shares a teammate scoring title with?
Yes, that's Scottie Pippen.
Oh, but hold on.
What year was that?
That was in 1996. They shared the ninth pair of teammates in NBA history to score 40 or more points together in the same game. But let's back it up to the old, fat Michael Jordan, as you said. Hey, you said you started watching him when? So in 2003, did you happen to see that game when he was 40 years old? And he scored 40 points on that season 3 times, at 40, by the way. 30 plus points 9 times, and 20 plus points 24 times. He's the oldest player in NBA history to score 40 or more points in history. So how can you say old and fat?
He was old and fat, because if you watch when MJ was MJ, okay, and you know this, he was unbelievable. He was the most athletic thing I have ever seen. And still to this day, he's athletic, which is crazy because we live in a generation where LeBron walks around. He's not the most athletic, but he's one of them.
He's number 2.
Okay. In athleticism, you can't even come close to denying that LeBron is the better athlete. You can't even, there's no argument there. But the MJ I got to see and enjoy was someone who was milking the Wizards for money because he needed it, and he was fat and old and still smoking at, age 40.
How do you figure he needed it, man?
Because he has a gambling issue,
He
a
has
well-known
gambling
one.
issue? Take away the basketball. Let's not even talk about his shoe legacy. He doesn't need money. First of all. Second of all, he didn't retire in the middle of a scandal. He retired because his dad got murdered.
Why did his dad get murdered?
Because his dad was gambling.
Oh, there you go.
You gonna get blamed for stuff that your parents
did?
did?
Hey,
No.
the sins of the father.
That's, Lord, you're hot.
That's an expression.
You're crazy.
It doesn't even matter. That's personal. Okay, so that's his own thing.
Shit, dark.
I do have an issue with him retiring because I think I get it. He had personal issues, but that hurt his legacy, in my opinion.
Okay.
I get
Just
it.
like LeBron leaving Cleveland the first time.
Okay, he was a kid going to college. That's
It's
exactly
the same thing.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. He went to the Heat because he had to grow. He couldn't grow with the Cavs. They weren't giving him anyone. From 03 all the way until 2010 when he left, those teams were abysmal. Excuse me. He dragged them to the 07 finals and got swept by the Spurs, who were coached by one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time in Popovich, and two Hall of Famers, in Tony Parker when he was in his prime, and Tim Duncan, who's one of the greatest power forwards to ever walk the earth.
Yeah.
Those are the people that swept LeBron. That's why he left the Cavs. Dan Gilbert. Ginobili is a beast too.
If you watch the interviews which he conducted himself too, your argument works the exact same way for Michael Jordan. His argument was, my best friend died, number one, which was his dad, and number two, I already had my 3 rings. What else do I have to accomplish?
Okay,
So you're saying...
No, keep going.
So you're saying that that's the reason why he left Miami, so why are you holding it against Michael Jordan for trying something new in baseball? The point is he came back.
Okay, and he did, and he dominated, and I'm not denying that. I am not going to sit here and tell you that Michael Jordan didn't dominate his era, because he did. He's idolized. He's idolized by LeBron to this day. Honestly, anyone from, anyone from the 90s all the way until... I don't think people now, I don't think Jason Tatum even understands what MJ was, just his legacy. They know what LeBron is. But anyway, all those years, MJ was the guy, like Mike. That was who you wanted to be like. That's how good he was. I am not denying that at all. But people seem to forget he played, this is a stat I'm going to fuck up. I can't even remember how many years MJ played because the Washington thing, they pretty much delete from ESPN. But anyway, all those years before he went on double dynasties, which is amazing, he got his ass whooped by the Pistons and by Magic and by Bird. And I get it. Those are all great people. Isaiah Thomas is a monster. They had, obviously it was way more physical back then. Magic Johnson, one of the greatest ball handlers of all time. And then you have Larry Bird, who was no schlub. You have all these great players. Well, LeBron has great players he's playing against now. The difference is...
Not the same, though.
They're not old and decrepit, but I'm telling you right now, when the stats are done, in 15 years, Larry Bird's stats aren't going to be what they are now. They're not. It's amazing to us now because it happened only 30 years ago.
Stats and records are made to get broken. I'm saying now has LeBron gotten there? No. No way. Are you serious? How many times has Michael Jordan been swept in the playoffs?
You can't use
Steve, you want to take that one?
Oh, my God.
None.
Yes, you're right. There's if you want to use rings, sure.
Okay.
But if we're using rings, Michael Jordan's then number 2.
Hold on.
Because Russell has 11 rings.
And I understand that. But
so we can't use rings.
There or not use stats then. So you give me the criteria that you would use to make LeBron number 1.
I would without including stats. Just use the eye test. Watch how LeBron plays and controls the floor. His IQ is higher. He's more athletic. His ball handling skills are 10 times what MJ couldn't dream of having. LeBron has Magic Johnson's level of ball handling skills. He's that good. He has Shaq's dominance in the paint. And then on top of that, LeBron can shoot. He shoots better than Jordan does at 3. And if you put him in the interior, his numbers are better. Was he a better shooter altogether? No. Michael Jordan was the better scorer. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But MJ, if you want to say MJ is the greatest scorer of all time, which you can argue Kareem is, but if you want to argue that, then you can say MJ's that. But you can't say he's the greatest basketball player ever because Michael Jordan didn't make his teammates better the same way LeBron did.
He didn't?
No.
And how come, you got Steve Kerr and all those guys making end of the game shots? Your last argument last week, if you remember correctly, was Michael Jordan had this dynasty, had this team that carried him. So now you're saying that he didn't and he was a ball hog? Isn't that a little contradictory?
No, if you have great teammates, okay, and they happen to be great players on their own, that's something you have to take into account. You just have to. It's not he didn't make them better. They were better already. When he left in 95, whenever he retired, 95 or 96, whatever one, he was gone for a year. Pippen was the main guy. He went off. He was a beast, and they still made it. They didn't win a chip.
They didn't win it.
No.
But
they still went really far in the playoffs. I think it was the second or even the Eastern Conference. I'm not positive. But either way, they went really far. So he already had a team set up and made. Then he came back in 96, and the team got even better. So you can't, if you put those same players on any other team, I'm telling you they're still going to be a contender. That's my argument. He didn't make them better. He didn't make them worse, but he didn't make them better. LeBron makes people better because of his skills. His overall skills is just better than Michael Jordan. It just is, in my opinion. If I use the eye test and I can watch, and we argued this too, because I didn't get to see MJ in his prime. I didn't get to see him make those shots. I didn't get to see him do those things live.
Then how could you say that with the eye test?
Because I can watch highlights. But this is what I'm saying. This is why my argument's always going to have a hole in it. Because I got to grow up watching LeBron evolve and show me something I've never seen before. You, older people, not you, but older people, all the people the analysts.
Good save.
Look at the ESPN analysts. All the ESPN analysts, very few of them have the balls to say LeBron's better. Why? Because they respected Jordan so much because they grew up watching this guy do amazing things night after night after night.
I do think that in the future, when it is said and done, LeBron has a chance. But right now, what the argument is right now, LeBron isn't there yet.
See,
he's not. At the end of his career, when it's comparing career to career, who is better? That's going to be there's an argument there. Right now, there's absolutely none, man. Back then, you're using competition and stuff like that. Think about the physicality of the game back when Jordan played.
Yes, but that's
and he still dominated.
That's not always a negative.
He still dominated.
It's not always negative though. He took advantage of that too. It's not like Michael Jordan was running around looking like Steph Curry. He was still he went to the gym when he got his ass whooped by the Pistons, gained some muscle. He was a beast. He went up against the Barkleys and the Karl Malones. He went up against all those boys and he held his own.
Without a shadow of a doubt, LeBron is a great number 2 right now. He has a chance to be number 1 when it is said and done. But right now, there's absolutely no shot in hell that he is number 1.
I just don't know how much more he can do other than the win rings. To prove, because he's beaten him in every stat that matters.
No, he hasn't really, though.
Other than rings. He has more assists. He has more blocks. He has more scoring points. He has more everything.
In his rookie year, you know Jordan led the lead in points scored.
Jordan is one of the greatest, if not the greatest scorer I've ever seen. And that's just through highlights. I'm not denying that. I am not taking away his points here and every point he ever got. He was in a whole different generation where he probably should have gotten his ass whooped. But he didn't. And I give him all the props.
Yeah.
But when I watch, and again, this is why it's biased, I got to see LeBron's entire career and watch him evolve into something that it's literally one man taking a team all the way to the finals, almost completely by himself.
And that's very admirable. But here's the deal: this is where I just don't understand. Okay, let's turn it to a different sport. Let's say Patriots. What makes them number 1? Their championships. Now, why isn't the same respect given between Jordan and LeBron?
Well, because it's more when football is a team sport more so than basketball. In basketball, you can win rings with one superstar. It's hard, but you can do it. You can't win any Super Bowl with one great player. Brady didn't win any of those. Someone's got to catch the ball. Someone's got to make the tackle. Someone's got to run. You just can't. It's different. When people, and this is why the argument, that most analysts don't even want this argument at this point because it's pointless, because there's no winner right now because LeBron's still going, and that's what you're saying. At the end of it, in your eyes, LeBron has a shot to be...
He has a shot, but it's not happening yet.
See, and I think for me, it happened 2 years ago. Like, I saw what LeBron's doing to the game, and when LeBron hangs up his hat, and you compare what one person did for the league to what the other person did to the league, I just think you're not going to be able to touch LeBron.
You have so many people just modeling their style of play after Michael Jordan. LeBron, I do respect the hell out of him. He killed it this round. Killed it. The rest of the team, honestly, I would be embarrassed. That one interview where he's standing behind, talking up all his teammates, and they're all standing there looking at him like, I would be mortified if I was his teammates, honestly. Be like, dude, don't say it, we suck. Like, but he's not at Jordan's level yet, man.
And I think that's one of those things where there's two things that you have that I'm never going to be able to argue. One is I never got to see Michael Jordan be Michael Jordan. I only got to see it through highlights. And I really think for me that hurts me because I don't get to see him do the insane stuff. Like, for me, I grew up watching LeBron do these things that shouldn't have happened. Like in 2007 when they actually made the finals with that piece of shit Cleveland team. It was off of a shot that LeBron made that's literally etched into my brain. Just like a lot of people have that Utah shot etched in their brain where he makes the shot and then jumps 7 feet in the air throwing his fist in the air. It's iconic. And that's going to be the argument for me, is who's going to be, because they're past the point. Obviously, they're two greatest basketball players ever. But which one's going to be more iconic, more legendary, more legacy? And I just think what LeBron's doing, we don't appreciate. And I'm telling you, when he's gone, we're going to be like, it wasn't even close. But who knows? I mean, he's got another 7 years to play.
But really, though, like, if you do take the time to watch that, then there would be, like, a little bit of an argument. But I hate to say it to you, man, you said yourself you don't watch Jordan stuff, then how can you even argue?
I didn't get to watch it live. So that hurts it because that does change it. That's what makes people a fan. You know what? People were blown away at what MJ did. It's because you watched it live. Good, award winning. You watched it live, and people were like, "There's no way, Jordan's going to do this," and he goes out and scores 63 against Bird.
So you're saying, like, okay, so player, we got the scoring down, right, and all of his stuff.
Scoring goes to.
What about defense?
Defense was your argument that you had. Defensive Player of the Year is, in my opinion, complete bullshit. Because...
But wouldn't that make an all-around better player? Like, if
you're awarded it, I suppose.
A player to me... Okay, so say even defensive player, win a defensive team then?
Well, no, defensive teams win championships most of the time.
Defense was voted into the defensive team, because LeBron's only been in 6 times, Jordan 9.
Okay, yeah, but I think if you compared the two, that LeBron doesn't have as many defensive teams, all teams, or whatever they're called. No doubt. But that's also because there's players who are entire jobs nowadays is to just run defense. Back then, MJ was doing both pretty much exclusively. Pippen didn't win it that often, and he should have. Pippen was amazing. Rodman was amazing.
Yeah.
Rodman was gnarly.
Rodman won it one time. I could argue that Rodman should have won it all of the years he played. He was that good defensively.
I just see how physical Jordan is. If you take the time to watch some of his...
I watched some. It's not like I'm completely numb to it.
I'm not saying you're numb. I get
You're
it.
just dumb.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for that. If you take the time to watch that, you'll see that... You look at the physicality that Jordan had. I mean, and I hate to say it, I know you get all butthurt when it's said. He is the king of the flop. I mean,
that's the league flop. The league did that. It's not LeBron who woke up one day and was like, I'm going to learn how to act and fall really well. No, it was because the league wanted to protect their money-making people. So they took away the physicality because injuries were happening like crazy.
You mentioned how much Jordan, bit it with the Piston era.
Yes.
You really, truly, truly think that LeBron could have held his own then?
Yes.
Doubtful, man.
LeBron would have been the enforcer. You guys look at those. I'm telling you,
Rodman would have eaten him alive.
Stop
man.
it. Stop it.
Rodman would have killed him.
Back then, they were smaller.
All these records here, which honestly you're saying are pointless.
No, they're not pointless. I'm just saying you have to make a point.
That Jordan was stuff that where Jordan set records. How come you aren't seeing? Oh, look at this record. Oh, yeah, LeBron passed that. LeBron got better. He has taken next to no records away from Jordan. You look at the statistics. David Robinson has taken records away. If he was that great, come on, man.
First of all, LeBron doesn't even chase records. That's people like me who look at LeBron and go, well, he's got this stat and this stat. He doesn't care about stats. If you, honestly, and anyone with any kind of basketball IQ whatsoever, if you don't think LeBron could score 50, 60 every night if he wanted to, you're out of your mind. LeBron chooses to score what he scores. LeBron could be an absolute... he could average 60 points a year. He's that good.
He has to with his team.
He doesn't, though. He could, but he doesn't. With this team, he could have did what Harden did all year, which is averaged 35, something insane. And yeah, their record was great. But look what happened to Houston. LeBron could do that, and he chooses not to. MJ did it, and it worked. Do you want to know why it worked? Because he had Pippen saving all his rebounds. He had Rodman getting every other rebound that Pippen couldn't get. And he had Kerr there to clean up his messes. He had enough players around him to where he could be a very selfish player. LeBron doesn't. He chooses not to be selfish. If he could have every record he wanted, he's that talented. But he chooses not to. He's trying to win games and get championships.
That's what Jordan was trying to do, win games as well. But here's the same situation, right? You sit there and you say, oh, his team. Yes, Jordan had a phenomenal team. But should that be held against him just because LeBron has moved around?
If it's not going to be held against him, then you can't you can't say that LeBron lost said championships without mentioning the fact that those teams were horrible. There's one loss two losses the only two losses in LeBron's finals career that matters. That will always hurt him. When he choked against the Mavericks in 11 because he was too scared of the moment, he was finally going to get his first ring. And the second one was when he lost to the Spurs in the fourth and final appearance to the Spurs in Miami. Now, but in Mavericks series, D-Wade was hurt. And by the fourth year, when they lost to the Spurs, D-Wade was hurt and bad on the downswing. So everyone said that he had a super team. Bosh isn't even going to make the Hall of Fame. So Bosh is not a super team member. Bosh didn't do anything but get pushed to the three-point line and barely make shots.
He had a decent team, though.
Yeah, no, he had a decent team, but it's not like he was running around with Pippen and Kerr and Rodman and all these unbelievable people that changed. They didn't just change like their game, the position.
He's not only Jordan isn't only idolized by like people like myself and stuff like that. Though you got players, Allen Iverson, who is easily great player for the however many minimal years he played. He was a prick, and he idolized Jordan's play. Kobe, LeBron himself.
I'm not saying
who idolizes LeBron.
I'm not saying anything bad about idolize the man. Why wouldn't you idolize him?
Or model his play after him.
I would too if I had the unlimited talent. Well, no, if I could pick, I'd pick LeBron. But who wouldn't want to be MJ? MJ was the star of his team. He gets all of the credit. He gets none of the flack. He's flawless. Never even had a Game 7. But there's so many positives to MJ. This argument's always going to be tough for LeBron to win because all he can have is pretty much the eye test, and you have to be able to have a contextual conversation with someone about why he lost certain things and why he's doing this and this and this.
As I said, at the end of his play, yes, there'll be an amazing conversation because records and discussions like that are meant to be broken. Come on, there was like Kareem was replaced by Jordan. Yes, LeBron is definitely next in line. But let's be real, it's not yet, man.
It's close. It's at least give me it's close.
I said he's a solid number 2. Sorry, I know you love Kobe. He's a solid number 2.
Kobe's barely top 5. Anyway,
you want to start the big guns now?
Anyway, we'll say this because this argument could go forever. But what no, I'm not going to say you're right because I could make the argument, but I don't think you're going to change your position. I don't think most people will. That's the final point I want to make about this is I think 99% of people, especially when you actually have a connection with a player, and you respect them or you look to them for motivation because that's why we love sports. I don't think you'd ever flop on, pun intended, on MJ because what kind of fan would you be? That's going to be your dude. Even if LeBron went out and won 4 more rings, I really think I'd be surprised if you would just roll over and say, yeah.
No.
And you wouldn't, and just like I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
I respect that, and I've told you that before when you started arguments with me over the phone. But I will tell you this. This is how I feel.
Classy.
Shut up.
I feel like if you look at LeBron's play right now, his play style, not his athletic caliber, is very similar to a Karl Malone. He's like the bigger guy, but has more athleticism. Obviously, it's not before you rip my face off about that. He's not, like, Karl Malone doesn't come close. But if you look at that comparative, there's no contest, man. Like I'm not trying to be mean.
No, and that's
really
fine.
But and then my second point is like again, don't take this as a shot. But how can you judge when you just have said yourself throughout the whole conversation you don't watch Jordan stuff?
No, I've watched Jordan stuff. That's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is from a kid. Okay, so in 03, what was I? That's 9 years. No, 9. I was 12. 12 years. I was 12 years old. I barely understood basketball, but I knew what I was watching with LeBron was special. That's what. Same with D-Wade. D-Wade's my favorite player of all time because I loved watching D-Wade play. I got to watch. I've watched, and I'm continuing to watch 15 years of live basketball with LeBron. No amount of highlights is ever going to make up for that. And I just think that's a good thing that people don't often point out. And that's why I say, and you hate when I say this, but that's why I think it's a generational thing. Because certain people grew up with this is the guy. That's the guy. Like it's almost with WWE. The guys for us, Stone Cold, The Rock, those are the guys. Yeah. No matter what, no matter how great, like Daniel Bryan's amazing, Finn Balor's amazing, AJ's amazing, but there ain't going to be The Rock. They ain't going to be Stone Cold. They ain't going to be these guys. And I think even though you could say that Stone Cold wasn't the best in the ring, which is true, it doesn't matter because at that time we idolized them. And that's what I'm saying the argument's going to, in the end, it's going to have to be a stat battle. Because I'm not going to waver, you're not going to waver, and those analysts aren't going to waver. I watch ESPN every single time LeBron does anything. What's the first argument? That's all they have left. MJ versus LeBron.
I'll tell you, watching ESPN, they do shaft him a lot. Like it is in a lot of ways should be a lot of more head-to-head battle, but.
Well, I just think it would be interesting, and we're going to see this in 5 years when certain analysts get pushed out and some are brought in. You're going to get analysts that are my age, and you're starting to see it, and you're going to see people who grew up watching and studying LeBron, and that's going to be interesting to see. So when that happens, I'm excited for that, but I think it's really, really, really hard for me objectively to sit here and say I'm an MJ fan when I never got to see the joy of watching him win a Game 6. Game 5, Game 4, whatever. I don't get to say that.
I mean, I'm not going to be ignorant about it and say, like, he sucks. He is definitely number 2. Like, those people on the internet who say, like, he's horrible and all that. I mean, are you watching the same thing that everybody in the world's watching? That's just stupid.
And that's that, honestly, when it comes down to it, at the end of it, you'll have a stat off, and then we'll go from there. But I will say, and this is my only concession, is he'll never do what Jordan did, which is go 6-0. Jordan didn't even let a Game 7. That's insane.
He never got swept. Nothing.
Never got swept. And that's a competitor. And that's the argument. If you want to say the greatest competitor of all time, it's Jordan. That I think is where a lot of people, especially athletes, admire and want to be that. Mm-hmm. Because Jordan hated losing. Like LeBron hates losing, but not even close to the same. The highlights you do watch, it's Jordan being furious because he lost, and it could be a mid-game that didn't even matter. Well, LeBron loses, gets swept or whatever, and he's like, well, it happens. MJ was not like that. So, and I think that's the respect thing. You know, what I respect is, like, how much work LBJ puts into his body and his work and his talent. What other people respected back then is that grit and that never quit in MJ. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to see that. I hear about it, but it's almost like a wise tale. Like, oh my, no one was better than MJ as a competitor. I only get to hear it. I get to see something with LeBron. So that's always going to be my weakest point. And that perhaps is why so many of like 20 and unders are like, no, LeBron's better, and then they have nothing to back it up. They just say it because they grew up on that. And then you have older people who saw MJ, or at least was able to be in a house where someone watched MJ, and those people have an actual argument. I think I'm always going to be at a disadvantage because I'm right in between there. I only got to see the shitty part of MJ and then all this greatness of LeBron.
Let's be real. At the end of this championship, it doesn't matter anyway because you're going to be an MJ fan too.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to end this argument real quick. This is an easy argument to end.
Oh my god.
Fuck you both. Lonzo Ball's number one.
Get out of here.
I'm just kidding.
That's right. Did you see on the thing back to NBA? His brother got
He got an interview. They're not gonna.
They're gonna get him.
He got a workout. I'm telling you.
They're gonna get.
They do.
What is it, LiAngelo?
I'm picking a different NBA team.
Go to Boston. They're gonna win a couple more. They're gonna win a couple rings soon. For sure. All right. Well, that's the Ended that argument.
That was pretty good.
We got nowhere. I mean, we're still...
Yeah, we're right in the same spot when we
But it's
started.
still
But it was
fun.
still fun.
It's still fun.
For our 3 viewers that watched it, I think they enjoyed it. Hopefully one was at our era.
Well,
and one was your guys' era.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
You kept looking over at me. I was like, "Listen, I've already
'Cause
jumped
you're
into this.
smiling
I've
like-
jumped into this fucking pit before.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of it."
yeah, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see. If somehow LeBron pulls it out, maybe in a couple years we get to have this conversation again. But I think
I'll still be right.
for now, it's good. I have an uphill battle. I'm going to argue that. I'm still going to argue it. But in 7 years, I think, which I do think LeBron will play 7 more years. But if
That's
he does,
crazy.
I think he will. He's so healthy and he takes care of himself. He's had no injuries. I think he can play 7 more years, especially if they move him into the post. Just put him almost in like Shaq's position. Don't make him run like a goddamn gazelle, and definitely don't make him play point guard. He can dominate in the paint. But every analyst ever says, and every ex-basketball player says, why don't they put him in the paint? Because he's always so
takes care
dominant.
of his body. His body's like pristine.
It's like a million-
It's
what
almost
was it?
gotten better.
Yeah, this is his best season ever. It was year 15. He played all 82 games. Nobody does that anymore. That's crazy.
I mean, he's no Jordan, but
I don't know. Did Jordan?
We're not going down this again.
I do. I would want to look at Jordan's stats as far as injuries and stuff because he never had. I know he had one
He had
really
like
bad.
the flu, but he
the
played
flu that
in
one day. You
like,
know the day. Yeah.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
No.
Didn't he go out?
He said it was a hangover.
It was a hangover.
You don't have 102 temperature with a hangover,
I'm
John.
gonna find the clip and I'm gonna post it about
John.
when it came out. It said, yeah, he was out partying a little bit too hard, so we can't say it was a hangover. It was a hangover, for sure, because he knew he was gonna go to Utah and beat that ass.
How about we do this argument next week?
Fair enough.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Hey, and whoever wins, okay, then we'll do it after the first game, because if he loses, he's going to wear a Bulls jersey during the entire argument, and I have all of them.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine wearing a Bulls jersey. I did almost buy a Bulls jersey when D-Wade got shipped there.
I got 23 and 45, I'll let you pick.
45. Don't give him 45.
45? That's when he was with Washington,
He
right?
had to come back.
No, he had to
because-
come
no,
back,
he had to come
and
back
he didn't
because
have his
thing was
number.
retired.
Yeah.
That's right.
But they let him,
They couldn't even wear. He retired his number. He couldn't wear his own
I
number.
mean, they let him, he brought it back, but it wasn't, I mean, it was a minimal amount of time.
I do. You know what I always forget is that LeBron is 23 and he did it for MJ.
Yeah,
I just think it's
even
ironic.
he knows that Michael's the best.
No,
So-
he just wants that mantle, and what a great way to take it.
Are we doing wrestle news,
Yeah.
or are we?
Yeah, we'll do quick
Is
WWE.
there anything going on in WWE?
Not really. I just want to talk about Enzo.
Oh, hey, yeah.
So
I don't even want to touch that. Like that's like touching. Like,
I just we don't have to talk about.
I was gonna
yeah,
go
we do.
darker than that, and I decided not to do it.
Okay, see, here's the thing about Enzo. Okay, Enzo, if nobody knows, he got fired because he
Allegedly.
he allegedly drugged up and raped a chick out in Phoenix,
Don't
Arizona.
wash Enzo. There's no allegedly about that.
Well, no, stop. Easy with that. It was alleged. Anyway, he got fired for it because he knew the case was coming or something. He didn't let them know, and he was kind of a piece of shit behind the scenes. So they
He
let
was
him
a
go.
real big piece of shit.
Yeah,
behind the
like
scenes.
Roman kicked him off the bus and
He
all
got
this
kicked
shit.
out of the locker room.
Yeah, he was basically, he was a piece of shit. But they fired him. Then he went quiet, went dark for 2 months. This happened 2 months. It happened in October, but the trial went 2 months. Well, fast forward 2 months later, and the trial was dropped because there was not enough evidence. It wasn't proven. He wasn't proven innocent or guilty. It was just dropped for lack of evidence. So, what does Enzo do in his free time? He makes
A horrible
rap video in which it's a giant diss video basically saying that this girl's a lying hoe and she ruined his good name, which I don't know how good his name was to begin with, and basically attempts to rap in the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's bad.
Weird video.
I've never been more uncomfortable with the context in my life. If you're gonna have something this dark as you could have potentially drugged up and raped a girl, and then you're gonna go on and then make a diss track because it got dropped. No, it doesn't mean you did it. It doesn't mean you didn't do it either, though. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. Why would you shine this much light on it? Like, I guess confidence could clear your name, but it just makes me feel gross. I think it's gross, and I think he's never going back to WWE because of it.
Well, they said anyway they had no interest in hiring him back because of all the stuff beforehand.
Well, he was great on the mic. If they were to hire him back as a mouthpiece like Heyman. Do not let him in that ring. But he was horrible in the ring. He had backstage problems. He had other things. But then at the same time, like in an interview, he said he would go back if they offered him to him. So he still has interest in it.
That rap video.
Dude, that rap video.
He's not going back.
Do you think they'll even entertain bringing him back?
I think they will because Vince is the kind of person, especially Vince. I don't think Triple H would. I think Vince would entertain it because Vince cares about money. He's a businessman. I mean, he'll bring back almost anyone if it makes sense. They brought back Goldberg when he was like 48 and made him win a belt, like the belt. So I don't say anything's off limits. I really don't.
He's not Goldberg though, man. Like, and I get like nobody around here is like a really, and I'm not either. I'm not Team Goldberg, but come on.
I know, and Enzo. I guess that was not a great example. It was kind of reverse. At least Goldberg could kind of work, but I don't know. I mean, if Enzo came back, would it get views? Yes. I mean, but I don't think they don't need him. No. I mean, they have so much. They have too much talent as it is now. So
too much unused talent.
Too much, way too much. So I just want to say how uncomfortable I was an Enzo fan, and I've said this on the show before. When things like this happen, unfortunately, it changes my opinion of people because I don't know the truth, and I know it's horrible, but I don't know the truth, so I just kind of assume I don't know, so I don't want to take a side.
Yeah.
So it makes me uncomfortable that they came out and did this diss track, because in the back of my head, I'm like, God, what if this poor girl that did happen, and then she just getting shit on, destroyed, ripped apart, and it didn't, you know what I mean? And I always feel for that, and that's where it sucks, is that if it didn't happen, then I'm one of these people sympathizing for a girl who's taking away sympathy of things that have happened to other victims. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a shitty situation all around. I just wish he didn't do it. Like, I wish he just came out.
It's a lot of stuff we wish Enzo didn't do that he did.
It just kills me because he wasn't found innocent. It wasn't like any, the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence.
Yes.
So really, let's be real, because right now I can go and do whatever to any of you, and I didn't do it, but you have no evidence. It's really hard to prove someone guilty. It's incredibly hard. What cojones does he have?
Especially if he actually did it.
Because
and now he's just shitting all over this chick because he's off the hook.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's a really ugly look, and I think he would have done himself a lot better if he would have just came out and did a promo. Cut a promo. Like, it's simple. 35-second promo. You probably would have got your job back. Like, even if he is a piece of shit backstage. If he came out and cut a sweet promo, get that buzz up, they'd hire him back, I think. But when you do a diss track about something so dark, it's just, and poorly, mind you, it wasn't even a good rap.
No, it was god awful.
Yeah, it was just so uncomfortable, and I've showed everyone who would watch it. Every time it's like, this is fucking weird.
Can we stop?
Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable.
I was done with it the first 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I think he'll get a deal somewhere. I think he's lost his chance with WWE.
I think he's probably gonna end up on TNA.
Yeah, I think it'll be
But I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with him doing rap either. But I'm definitely not comfortable associating him with something I enjoy. So
I don't think he should be in a pole time.
No,
He should just.
He was gone for 2 months, and
no one missed him. I'm not trying to be a dick.
No, it's true though.
Did you watch wrestling and think, oh man, I wish Enzo was here?
Yeah, he was good in the cruiserweights because the cruiserweights were horrible. But I don't know. I think it's a tricky situation. I think he's an idiot. That's really, other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Like, the Raw's been subpar. Seth's killing it. Elias is killing it. Braun's getting a little bit too much attention for me. He's been the highlight for 4 of the 8 segments last night. He was 4 of the 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit too much. Roman wasn't on the show at all.
Given the week off,
I guess he's hurt. Yeah, he's got some injuries, but which I actually like that they let him off screen, because it's like, now I'm excited for next week. But Braun is getting pushed down our throats, and I don't like it. And I think they're turning him heel, because his actions, he's like beating the piss out of Finn Balor, and calling him little and doing these heelish things. I think they're going to fuck it up. He's a massive babyface right now, but I have this feeling that Vince is going to turn him heel. Man.
Shocker.
I know, Vince is fucking it up. Shocker. But other than that, I wish I could...
You see, though, every time there's a Raw, a new article comes out. Raw has its lowest viewership.
Yeah,
Raw has its lowest viewership.
it's it's crazy is they're not competing against Monday Night Football either. So what are they doing? Now's when you build all your fans.
Vince fucking shit up.
Honestly, I'm a wrestling fan, but right now I'm really bummed about how it is going and where it's going, and there's not been zero mention of our Universal Champion Brock. It's just a joke.
You won't hear from him until SummerSlam.
Last night it was sort of funny because I was like watching, and normally when I watch like basketball and then wrestling, it's like I get sort of captivated by wrestling. It's like, oh crap, the game's on,
Yeah.
Didn't even happen once. I was like, okay, commercial's done. Let's go back.
Yep. No, it's true. It's a bummer that we're in that position, but at least we have some juice coming up because we got Money in the Bank in the 17th.
Hopefully it's good.
I think it will be. I love ladder matches and shit like that, and I like the excitement.
The Money in the Bank is always good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I mean, some of the matches, Roman versus Jinder, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no one cares.
I don't really care about Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. I don't care about really most of the matches, except for the Money in the Bank. So
someone's going through a ladder, and someone's going through a ladder hard.
It's usually Kevin Owens who takes
or Dean, but he's not around.
And that's what I'm hoping Dean comes back soon. And at least I'd be excited if they brought the Shield back.
I thought it was SummerSlam. I think that they said by then.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. But yeah, unfortunately, WWE is just in this lull where they're just not putting
They'll
in.
Figure it out.
They always, it's like called the WrestleMania hangover. They just stop kind of caring for a while. So
yeah, they'll figure it out. We'll get it back.
It's definitely frustrating as like a fan though, because I'm like, oh, okay, you guys don't care to entertain.
Just bring The Rock in, juice it up one show.
Yeah, I don't know if The Rock's ever coming back. He just keeps doing all these goddamn movies until like 2022. He just keeps doing this thing.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, no, it actually is a good segue. So
Rocky, my boy, my favorite. My people's eyebrow.
People's eyebrow.
I need you to please chalkboard, or just you can even give the eyebrow on one of your Instagrams. Like, oh, that was for us. Like, I want something, please.
Shout us out.
Just shout us out like one time.
How fun would it be for you to say Stickrod and Cockerham Productions?
I don't know if he'd do that.
It would. The words
It'd be
are great.
fun. Yeah, it's great.
It's funny words.
Yeah, he loves funny words.
Yeah.
He'll say it. We'll send you tequila if you do.
Please, if any of our 3 viewers right now know a hookup.
That's right. You need to tweet.
We're not asking for money. We're just asking for a shout out from our boy The Rock.
That's right. That's right. That's
all we want. Just a simple shout out. Like when you're showing your awesome shoes, which I want, by the way.
Stick shoes. They're sold out. You need to make more.
Just be like, Stickrod and Cockerham. You want some of these? That's fine.
He kills me too because on his Instagram he's like, I can't believe they sold out. You fucking liar! I know you knew. You knew it'd sell out. Of course it's gonna sell out. He has like 20 million followers. Like,
yeah.
If
I saw him, I wanted him. I was like, well,
it's a sales tactic. You make a low amount, make sure they sell out so everyone wants them.
Why?
And then make more.
It's a horrible sales tactic.
Think about that Kardashian girl, with her makeup.
Bring it.
Kylie, the young one, right? Because she had such a limited first release, and it's been sold out since because it keeps going and going.
Wow. Professional.
I don't like it. I think it's a bad strategy because Nintendo tried it with the NES and no one could buy it.
Nintendo's not The Rock.
It's the same thing.
Hold on. That thing went nuts. People were selling them on eBay for like $1,500.
Okay, that's not making Nintendo money. That's making some guy in his basement money. I'm just saying, if you have more of something, you will sell more of something. That's logic. I get it. It's more limited edition.
You do one limited edition release, and then you bring the
and
full
how
price.
mad were you that they sold out?
It's still, I was pissed.
Does it make you want it even more?
Yeah, but still.
Exactly.
He got what he wanted, bro.
I can't get it, though.
Would you wear them?
Hell yeah, they're weightlifting shoes. They're meant for like people like me.
I'd be so afraid to dirty them.
No, I would beat the fuck out of them. They look awesome.
They do. I saw it. I was like, yep, I want them.
I saw it instantly. That was like, immediately I texted Erin. I'm like, I know my bet for the night. I know my bet. And then I told her what they wore, and she's like, oh, God. And she asked how much they wore. And then I think she was expecting like $600 bet because I said it was a big one.
Yeah, it's...
But yeah, Rock, I need more of those shoes. But at least say our name.
Yeah, 2 biggest fans right here.
Swiss Army Nerds, Stickrod, and Cockerham Productions. Honestly, if you just say Swiss Army and Nerds in 3 separate sentences, I'll take it.
Or even Stickrod or Cockerham.
Or yeah, even Rod and Cock, anything.
Rod and Cock's fine with me.
Rod, Cock, anything. Be creative. We need to do your promo.
Rod and Cock, ride. I Can't get it. I was gonna say ride or die, but that's
Ride or
hard
die.
to put it together. Run, cock, ride, and die.
Ride or die. But yeah, come on, Rocky. Let us know, man. Shout us out. At least add us at Swiss Army Nerds.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be super cool. But do you want to just go into our game? Because do we have anything else?
Do we want to do that, or do we want to try out the kinks before we try that?
No, let's just do it live. What do we got to lose?
Because we're gonna have to blare music in the headphones. Are you gonna be able to focus on what I'm saying, or are you gonna want to listen to your music? Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think people are still gonna. Do you want us to? We can shut this down and go back live.
Yeah, we can try that. Let's try the kinks first, and if it works out, we'll be back live.
All right, so we're gonna close up this, but we'll be right back. We're gonna do some new fun stuff. If you've ever seen, was it Joe Santiago?
Joe Santagato.
Santagato, that's it. So we're gonna do something. He does it. We're kind of gonna steal his gimmick, but we're gonna give it a shot. So we're gonna be back live in probably about 5 minutes to try it out. So, but for now, we're gonna say we are out. Too sweet. It's been fun. We'll see you next week. Peace. We are still gonna be live on this one for a second, but that's because I always cut it and I didn't.